All right. So, today I'm going to be streaming, probably playing some City Skylines and doing some ASMR content. I have my binaural mic out, so you can, if you have headphones on, you can hear that I'm going back and forth from your left to your right. Maybe I should switch that. Hold on. Oh, I know how to do it. Hold on. And then let me make sure. Monitor output. Sounds good. Okay, cool. Chatbox up. Sweet. Okay. So, this should be on your left. Ooh, you know what? Nope. Almost there. Gotta take off force mono. Alright, so there we go. That should be good. Let me see, is it going all the way on the left? Yep, all the way on the right. Good. Alright. So, if you are into ASMR content, this is what this is going to be. I will be putting my game up on the screen. I'll just be playing, and I'll have the sound on softly. But I'll be kind of talking about, probably talking about some things. I don't know. We'll see what kind of topics come up. But yeah. So I hope this is relaxing for you. I hope you have a good time. And let's build a city. This one I have restream on. My only issue with this microphone is the crazy amount of noise in the background. So like, because it's so high, generally with this this type of content, whenever you do ASMR, you pretty much have to have your gain super high, because obviously I'm talking very softly. But the problem with this microphone is that it has a ton of noise. Hold on. Restream is saying that I'm offline. Let's check YouTube. because I'm not seeing anything in Restream either. Yeah, I'm up on there. Oh, there it goes. Just took a little bit to load. Alright, and then let's get chat up for me. I'm going to turn this on performance mode. Let's see here. Couple things. First thing, I gotta post on Twitter. See if anyone joins me. Man, my computer is running slow because of this. I think it's because I have the video feed going as well. So I think we're just going to. I guess I probably should just download it, shouldn't I? We'll see. I think Restream is nice, but it's a little clunky compared to just going straight to YouTube or Twitch. But it is nice to have both chats feeding into one. Okay. Get that off screen. I hope you all are doing great on this Sunday. I know I am. I had my first hangout with people, like a sleepover kind of thing, in a long time. It was with my wife's brother, so that was really nice. It was just nice to, like, because we're all vaccinated, so we were all able to get together and party a little bit and drink and do all those things that were, what we were used to before the plague. All right. The problem I'm gonna have is that I can't really see the screen unless I'm doing this, but I think that might work just for having going from ear to ear. It kind of forces me to do it, so it's kind of interesting. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I don't think this is gonna work. Oh, now I'm even farther away. That's not what I want. Shoot. basically I want to get the camera and the microphone as close to me as I can. Oh, no. Sorry, guys. Not a professional. Clearly. I'm using my goddamn phone. Let's take a look at what this looks like. Yeah, I think that works. So now I'm just a little closer, so I don't have to bend so much to be able to talk and be close to the mic. Okay, let's do performance mode. Move chat up. No one's here yet. Let's see. I mostly do this for fun. I feel like streaming is just one of those things that, like, instead of just being by myself playing a video game, it's kind of nice to play it with other people, especially a game like this, where I'm just kind of chilling. All right. So we have a few grids going, all low density. We have a nice little farming area that's making us a little bit of money. I'd like to expand it, if possible. Get it to level 5, just so. Let's see what we need to do. Probably just need more people, to be honest. No, I want the grove. Okay, so yeah, so we need workers. So that's going to be the main thing. I think what might be nice, and oh god, I'm going to turn off. By the way, I'm playing this on Xbox. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the day-night cycle, because it is very difficult to build at night. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to build a nice little kind of feeder for the Grove Agricultural Cooperative, where people that are part of the cooperative can come and live, and if that's the case, I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and turn this into a collector. So I think that makes the most sense. Oh, that sucks. So I'm just going to do this. What? Okay. I don't want just like the one cow. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this into a collector, right? And then we're going to extend this collector out. Extend this collector out. We're going to extend it so that we have some nice, we have a nice little community here. I'm going to try and respect the topography, so let's take a look. Let's go to our topography, terrain height. It's pretty, isn't a whole lot of shifting there, so let's look. It does go down toward the ocean. There's a drop off from here down. I may just smooth this out. Get this whole thing measured out. Sorry, I'm gonna get rid of these rocks. Sorry, rocks. See you later. And basically, I want to make sure. I want to pause really quick. And get rid of these, so we can actually do this. So I want everything to conform to the collector. I think what we'll do is we will get this whole area gridded out with a very tight grid. And I'm going to feather this a little bit. Make it a little softer on the edges. We will keep this basin right here. Alright. And I think we're going to stick with the dirt roads for now, other than the collector. The collector will do with... I think I want to convert this collector to a bike path. This whole thing. And then getting distracted by bike paths. And then I think the bike path will continue on through here. And then loop back around here. So you can go back on the collector. So trying to just make it easy for people on their bikes to be able to do that. And then this whole neighborhood will be with bike paths. I think that will be the nicest thing. Because they're part of the collective, or part of the cooperative, they would, this would be like the start of, so in my mind, you know, in American politics, cooperatives are not necessarily one of the most talked about things, but they're very valuable in creating this, creating worker solidarity. So all the workers own a part of the business, so they're all part owners. So what that means is that they get to make democratic decisions. And we're just going to do a very simple 10 by 10 grid. So in my mind, if you have a cooperative like this, where you all are part of the agricultural cooperative, you could theoretically build a nice little neighborhood next to the cooperative and have that be where you all live. And you can work with the local government to help with infrastructure and things like that. maybe allow local businesses to pop up as part of it. I think we'll keep it there. We'll start with this this grid right here, and so part of that I think would be, I'm gonna make this a district. I think the cooperative probably would have bought this whole area along the coast. So instead of investing in, they have the choice, because they're the workers, to invest rather in just making more profit. They can invest in their community, making their living situation better. So you can see they would maybe be the ones that maintain these. What do I call them? Fans? I don't know. Whatever. Windmills. So maybe they maintain them. They're still owned by the city, but this land is for the cooperative. Oh, I forgot to make this a. Hold on. We still want this to be a collector. And eventually, I'm going to buy that big piece of land, and I'm sure the cooperative would love to expand out into there. A ton of fertile land, a ton of space to build. So, okay. Now we're going to get our city services. And of course, water lines always run under roads. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Because, imagine if you had one of these water mains break and it's not under the road. Then you have to tear up someone's house to actually get underneath the ground to get to the pipes, which is just not feasible. Okay, so we have that. We're going to. We probably don't need that anymore. And we probably just want to do this. Alright. There we go. Cool. So we have a nice little node off of the agricultural collective, the cooperative, and we need a school, right? Probably need some health care. So you want to put your high travel uses off of collectors. As city planner place always says. So we're going to put our healthcare there. I imagine we'd want some childcare. We don't have childcare anywhere in the city. I think we're just going to put childcare here to serve most of the city. Elder care, same thing. We're just gonna. I want to find a place that is centrally located, but I don't want to have eminent domain. And this might be a good spot. Yes, this is a very good spot. Perfect. And then I think we'll need a cemetery up here. No we don't. Our cemetery has a lot of capacity still. We'll need a new one up here eventually, but for now. And I think we're going to be expanding out this grid out this way. Well, I guess we're going to go both ways, but I think into the trees will be where we expand. Because I don't want to do forestry. I think I'm just going to stick with that agriculture. So I think with that being the case, I'm just going to put it right here off of the collector. So easy access to the collector, but on a local road. Alright, that's looking good. High school, do we have any coverage over here? No. I think we'd want a high school, right? Like, just have it be off this local road, and then it's going to give coverage to the people over here too. See, they're not getting covered. Part of the problem is because in the beginning of the game you have very low density, you tend to sprawl out more. And what that does is it makes it so that schools and other city services have a harder time providing coverage everywhere while maintaining capacity or having, an appropriate capacity. So we're going to put a new one here. We'll see what happens. It looks like it's kind of covering them, but it's good enough for now. Alright, and then we need police. We already have some coverage, but I think we could use a little more. We could just put it on this road, on this dirt road. Or just put it right here. Yeah. Right on the collector. And then we probably need a firehouse as well. Oh yeah, we need a firehouse. Holy crap. And same thing, I'm going to keep it right next to the collector, but off of a local road. Okay, cool. So we are looking good, we're sitting pretty. We have bus routes, don't we? Yeah, just a few. I may provide one just to this area, because to me this is like the downtown area. So if you look, we have all of these commercial uses. This is another kind of downtown area, but I don't think I consider this. I don't consider this fully downtown. I think this right here is like the main strip. I would even call this like Main Street, to be honest. Although this is more Main Street. So it goes down the center of town. It's right next to the water. Did I even name it Main Street? I did. Nice. Okay, cool. So now I remember. Alright, so let's get some people in here. Or no, let's get a bus. So we have a stop here. We have a loop around here. I think we could just do a bus that just has like an express bus to get I'm trying to think, because I don't want to clog this area up with buses, because I think that'll be a bad thing for traffic. So I think maybe the best thing to do is just to have two lines, one going there, one going back, that loops around like here. So let's do it. So we're gonna start it on this collector. Start it right here. We'll put one more stop right here, and then we can do a stop right. See, I don't want it to go. I guess I could have it pass through and go. I'm not sure if I want it to go through the roundabout. If I want that kind of use. That might be good, actually. And then I can just loop all the way back around. Alright, let's do it. So, we're going to add a stop right here. Give some easy transfer to the next line. And then we'll do one more stop for this community right here. Because again, this is more of an express. Oh, I didn't do that, did I? Because technically I could have it go down this highway. All the way down. And I could. The question is, do I want bus traffic to go all the way through here, through this community? Or would I rather just have it stick on the collector? I think I'd rather have it stick on the collector. So if that's the case, I'll put a stop here. From that community, do one bus stop here. And then have it, let's see, because again I want this to be more of an express. I don't want it to be like an every, okay, I think I'll have them stop here and then go all the way through to here, and then loop all the way back around. Okay, so we did that. And then we're just going to have it follow the same path. Have it do the same things. Just mirror it all the way down. So anytime you make transit, you want it to mirror so people can go either way down this line. Eastbound, westbound, whatever. Okay. That looks good. And then here and here. Alright, that looks good. So at the very least, we are connected. The Grove Agricultural Cooperative is connected to the rest of the city, at least nominally. I feel like we need another transit line for here, but I think for now we'll be okay. People can walk and get to this stop, but I have a feeling that this stop is going to get filled up. So we'll see. We'll play it out. All right, last thing to do. Our last couple of things. We're gonna need like a playground, at least. And what I want to do is I want to have a commercial area, kind of a little commercial pocket in the middle of this, and part of that commercial pocket I want it to be to also have a playground there. So I think having a playground, and then we can zone a little bit of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to make our commercial area organic and local produce. So that's what all of our commercial is going to be. So what that means is that it's local business, so we don't get any we don't get any outside companies or anything, or corporations. And because we're an agricultural collective or cooperative, that makes it so that you can draw from the local industry. I don't know if that actually happens mechanically, but that's the story I tell myself. And I think we're going to do self-sufficient buildings as well, because I think in here, and I want to rename this. I see that there are 3 people watching at the moment. If any of you have any ideas for names, I'd love to hear it, because I don't think I want to leave this as Sterling Heights. I would like to shift this to something else. Alright, we're going to do bike path, sidewalks. And we're going to do that. Recreational use. One thing that Phil from City Planners Plays talks about is doing when you're planning for your city and you're getting transit put together and whatever. He talks about how cities like to be deficit neutral or whatever, where they're not spending more than they're taking in, and especially with programs, they want them to be deficit neutral. Part of the problem with this mentality is that you end up with, and so I'm going to do this so that the bikes only go part of the way. So if you charge for your transit, what happens is the thought is that it's going to pay for itself, but if you charge for transit, the people who are going to use public transit, namely working people, not middle class, whatever, people who could afford it, instead the working class people just won't go on transit. So you build all this infrastructure and you get your transit together and you're running these things and you're paying for it, but then you never actually are able to, it never pays for itself because no one actually uses it. So the idea is just make it free, so you get people to use it, and you use it as just another program that your city is putting forward using tax revenue. So in my opinion, I agree with that. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Alright, and we're going to make this go. Because part of the problem is in the US, and if you ever check out a YouTuber named Echo Gecko, or Not Just Bikes, they talk about about Strong Towns, which is they're a group of researchers that put together a report on the crumbling infrastructure and the issues with the American suburbs or American small towns. And part of the problem is that we are so atomized. Atomized meaning we're so individualized. We're all in our own little houses, especially in the suburbs. Everyone's so spread out that, and because we're so spread out, infrastructure costs a lot more because you have to travel longer. You have to use more pipes. You have to use more wires. You have to, and all that costs money. And then when those things break, then you have to pay for them. Same with the roads. So what they talk about is increasing public transport, allowing for mixed use, doing away with subdivisions, and these like weird curvy, um, uh, confusing neighborhoods that are currently employed in the U.S. and instead move back to what we used to do, which was grids. And that's kind of the city that I live in. I live in the old part of my city. It's not necessarily a suburb. It's kind of like it's a working class, like blue collar town that used to be a steel mill center, but has since kind of ever since the steel industry dried up, it's now more of kind of rural community, a mix of like, it kind of feels like a suburb, but it's not a suburb. It has a nice downtown with pretty big buildings, but none of no one goes downtown. There's nothing to do. So what was once like a very nice and vibrant city is now kind of a middling suburban town with not a huge sense of community. There was also a lot of redlining that happened in my city back in the before it was outlawed. So much of the city is segregated. So there's this large swath of people that are poor and black and brown who all live in the same neighborhood, and then you have the white people that live in the nice kind of suburban part of town, which in my opinion is shit. I hate it. So alright, we're gonna put this here as well. So again, I'm starting to zone. Here we'll have some uses here. I think I'm gonna make this whole thing commercial. And then same thing here. So we're kind of mixing it up, so people can go to work, and they'll also have places to eat and shop at after work and stuff, and they can still walk home. So theoretically, people should be able to walk to their jobs. Theoretically. Where did I kind of want to make this a bike path too. I think that would be better. Because I want to make sure that it's connected and looped. Yeah. Okay, that works. That works a lot better, actually. That's looking pretty good. Right now, we're going to zone our residential. And we're just going to cover this whole place of residential. And let it go. And we can see it's already immediately filling up with residential, because we have such high demand for it. And the hope is we'll have more workers for the cooperative. So this would be like where the cooperative is hiring people and growing their staff, and then eventually they'll need to expand. So I think the rural aspect of this map is pretty significant just because of all that fertile land. So I think this is really going to center around the cooperative, to be honest. see our RCI is starting to balance out. We've got our residential meter is starting to come down. Okay, why are you stalling? What the hell? There's no one there yet. It's chill. What in the world? Why are these buses taking so long? I guess they're just there to wait for people to get on. I don't know. So part of what I really love is watching everything kind of populate. I don't have any paths between the houses, and I think that's a good thing, because like I don't really need it, because we have such a walkable grid, because they're very small blocks, so people can walk pretty much anywhere they want. And because we took, oh shoot, let's see, yikes. Alright, let's get ourselves back on track with this. Let's do one more. So that was our waste treatment. Sewage treatment. Okay, back up. Did I lower my budget on that? I did. I'm just going to boost that back up just so we don't have to worry about it. What's our money looking like? Money is looking good. Something that you run into as you kind of move through, especially when you have a high demand for residential, you start to need workers. So if you're late on the uptake, what happens is the new workers aren't getting educated fast enough, because you have to go through a few generations to get them educated. So you end up having things like this, where in your commercial districts, or even in your why do they need educated workers? That's interesting. Let's see. Yeah, it's not a district. Did I do? No. I don't know why. I don't know why it's asking for. I'm just going to delete these, because I know they're going to go. The problem really is, if you look at the RCI meter right here, I have no demand for industry, and that's mostly because of the cooperative is kind of sucking up all that space. So one thing I could do is I can price out industry and just say, okay, so we're going to go here and we're going to say, all right, dirty industry, we're going to bring you up to 15%. We're going to make a little more money on you, and we're going to push them out. So they're going to be pissed off about the taxes, and it will push them out of the city. So that the only industry that we are left with is this, and I don't have to demolish, or I don't have to use eminent domain. Those businesses will just naturally want to leave, which is the goal. I want to make that priority, so it kind of messed up my roundabout. Let's look. We're still good here. I don't know why this is a total stop sign. No. What? Okay, there we go. So yeah, you can see they need highly educated workers. These need more people. You can see our RCI meter just went crazy. We need even more people. So I'm going to slow it down, and we're going to keep building. Let me make sure our ground is fairly flat. I think it is. this out just a little bit. Maybe heading for a bit of a drop off at the river, but I think it is worth it to get this land to be usable. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. I'm going to turn the strength up to just like destroy this place. Okay. That looks good. Cool. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get some bike paths or bike roads, and we're just going to continue our grid. Build it out exactly the same way that we did before. On the other side. And just do regular roads all through here. I should have done this the first time. I did stupid shit the last time. I'm gonna pause really quick too. So my goal here is I want to create an environment that is conducive to walking and to biking. And I want those to be the main forms of transportation. Transit is good, but I think the transit. Oh yeah, you can see they're all pissed about the taxes, and they're going to be, and that's okay. And they're going to become abandoned. And then, because this is a nice grid, we can repurpose this land for like offices later down the road. But we don't have any need for industry right now. So that's going to be part of kind of rectifying that, bringing the amount of industry zoned down so that we can actually kind of function a little more balanced, or be a little more balanced. Okay. Let's get these. I gotta say, it is kind of hard using a controller for this. I would much prefer to use my mouse and my keyboard. Such is life, right? Okay, so we have water. I don't think we need an elementary school here. No, we got coverage. We're okay. Don't think we need a high school. We got coverage. We're cool. How are we doing on garbage? Can't wait until we get the. Oh, yeah, we need. Ooh, that's kind of rough. We need some garbage. You know what? I'm gonna use some eminent domain. Sorry, friends. Sorry. It does. Okay. Yeah, eventually we'll have to get our waste processing plant, but I think for now this will work. Just having recycling centers. And again, it's going to affect some of our farming, but I would imagine that these are just plots that the cooperative allows people to kind of farm on and rent from them. But it is not necessary and not part of the cooperative. Let's look here. Get these connected. I'm just gonna, for now, this is temporary. How do I do that? Alright, so I gotta zone this out. Same thing, I'm gonna add, because we don't need any city services on this side, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do all commercial right here. Do residential. And I want to make sure, just so, when we have to eventually expand, I don't want to have to do eminent domain, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm not zoning in front of any roads, or where roads might be in the future. Okay. That looks good. And I think this will be very valuable beachfront, or maybe not beachfront, but waterfront property. And same thing, just in case we want to build a bridge at some point, I don't want to have to do eminent domain to get over to there. I feel like this is going to be a really nice connected kind of collection of areas. Alright, let's play, let's see. Now it's going to start to fill up. Speed it up, because again, this means that we need more workers, and you can clearly see that we need more population. We have more demand for people, and so this is what I like to see. You have the buses running, but then in addition to the buses, you have all of these people walking. You have people riding their bikes, doing the whole thing, and that's what happens when you prioritize those kind of uses. Big bite. I think I'm just going to call it Grove Heights, right? Like, I feel like that would be easiest. We'll keep the heights, but we're going to call it Grove Heights. Alright, there we go. Grove Heights. And I think we're just going to name this Grove Hills. Just keep it simple. Or maybe just the Grove. I think that's what I'm going to call it. The Grove. I hope you all are enjoying the binaural mic. I know I actually really enjoy it. Just even just streaming this is really relaxing. It's weird, even with my own voice, it still is calming to have it go from ear to ear. It's like a whisper in my own ear. It's weird, but good. And look at that, we filled this up almost immediately. And check that out. We have very few lawns, so that's part of having a self-sufficient building or self-sufficient housing. Is you don't have a lawn, because that is a carbon sink. It does not create, it doesn't suck up carbon efficiently at all. trees are really what do it. So you notice there are more trees, there are bushes, all kinds of stuff, and then they also have solar panels that make them self-sufficient. So I like that this game kind of includes that and gives some ideas about, maybe how you do that in the future. Alright. I think that's looking good. What is our RCI like? Any more commercial? Did we get all of our commercial here? Yeah. Like an Aldi. Healthy weeds. So I think what you'll notice is that we don't have a ton of traffic. We don't have a lot of car traffic. And the reason for that is because of all of our bike paths and our sidewalks being open because of the bike paths and our buses. So we're prioritizing all of those uses that help us with our traffic. So that the only things really on the streets are trucks. So you end up with like the small trucks that, like the local delivery trucks, some semi-trucks for some reason. I'm not sure why this semi-truck just turned around like that. I may want to make that a policy. We'll see. Basically, I don't want to have semi-trucks driving down people's the streets people live on. But part of the problem is you have people living right next to the industry area. Look at that. We just went up 4 stars, baby. Alright, all these are getting... abandoned. So we have to, as they keep becoming abandoned from the high taxes, we destroy them, and then we're gonna repurpose them. Oh my god, there's so much. I think we'll repurpose it for low density commercial for now, and what I'd like to do in the future is make it office space. But we'll have to wait till we get to a higher population count. What is our next milestone? Nope, that's not. So next is going to be at 6,000. And we'll get Metro IT cluster, leisure. Office. Okay. So I don't think I'm gonna I don't think I'm gonna do this yet until we get to 6,000. I may even get one more block in over here. Maybe over here. I may do an irregular block right here. Kind of go with the topography a little bit more. Avoid those rocks and really get to the point where I'm syncing up with this. Yeah, I think that looks good. That looks fine. I'm gonna have to finagle this a little bit. Oh, that looked weird. Let's see. It's hard because you want to come at it at a 90-degree angle. Yeah, that works. Okay, so yeah, we'll have a different kind of block over here. that I may just use for, and we need more residential, so I may just do that. But I'll put a path here first, and I'm going to slow shit down. Let's see here. Do some normal paths. Go down to no, I don't think it needs it. I think with the high school, I'm just going to put a path right around it. Just ring it. And then I'll extend the path this way. Since everything's kind of irregular, it will normalize things a little more. I think that looks good. Looks good. Okay. Make sure we have services. The reason I turn the snap twos off is because I want to be able to follow the road exactly and not get caught on anything. Be able to make it look really nice. Okay, perfect. There we go. 6,000. How about that? All right. We don't need a metro. Post sorting facility. Okay, cool. Sounds great. So I think what we're gonna do. Oh, no. No, stop. What I'm going to do is I want to rezone this. I'm going to domain over all these, because guess what? I don't care. And I'm going to dezone everything that is not already a building. And then I'll figure that out later, because I'm going to need it. Actually, I'm going to dezone this because it's about to go. Okay, that looks good. Also, I might do the same thing here. Just dezone all this, and then we'll pick it back up later. I may just do that as commercial, but let's see what we need. We do have an... Ooh. I may just make this high density residential. Okay, so here's my thought on the lore, I suppose. So this collective, or this cooperative, they understand that, like, even though you're in a rural setting, you can still urbanize that rural setting. You can still make higher density uses, even though you're still farming, mainly. So I think that's what they're going to do. And I think here... I don't know if I want that to be... So I think that's what we're going to do. So again, the idea is you have pockets of commercial, um, so that people can get to those within their community. So instead of like in the classic suburban setting, you would have all commercial as part of like this on this collector. It would all be commercial here, and that would be it. You wouldn't have any residential. It wouldn't be even close to it. But what you can do is you put it. Oh, where's that? Come on, go. But here you have a main drag that people can walk down, and their houses are right behind the main drag, right? Same thing down here. You have Main Street. Main Street has a bunch of commercial uses. People can come down here and they can hop on a bus and get to the next community, but they don't have to get to the things that they need, to the grocery store, to the corner store, whatever. They can do all of that within their own community. So in my opinion, that's the best way to do things. Alright, you can see each one of these buildings has solar panels on it. It's self-sustaining. You can see on the top you have some greenery, some picnic tables, things like that. And that's a self-sufficient building piece. I'm going to speed it up and we'll see how our RSI meter does. And you can see here, because we have maximum density, because we're doing that, we have these big old buildings that pop up, and so this becomes a little bit more, becomes a work area, but then you have all these smaller commercial buildings around that people can go to, and they can walk to these buildings, no problem. I think we're about at the point where I can convert these to regular roads. In fact, I think we need to. A little weird. Alright. Same thing here. And I don't want to do any kind of roads that don't allow parking on the road. It annoys me in this game that you don't have a road with trees that allows people to park. It's very annoying and not realistic that you have the the road with trees, but it stops all parking on the road. And I think that is not really realistic and not what happens in real life. Yikes. Eminent domain. Whoops. Sorry, y'all. Yikes. Oops. That's part of the problem of using dirt roads too. But they're cheap at the beginning, so you can do what you want later. We'll keep those dirt roads. Okay. Let's finish this up. Get rid of these last couple of dirt roads. Damn, there are a lot of them. Okay. Last thing, I'm going to extend my bike paths. So we have this bike path going through, and I'm just going to continue that. Part of the problem is you can't park on the street when you have bike paths, but in my opinion, it's worth it. It's worth it to have them. I may just loop it around to here. Oh yeah, because it was right there. So I may just leave it around here. Because I'm more concerned about parking in the street in residential areas, not necessarily office areas and things like that. Okay, and same thing. I'm going to connect. So now we're connected all the way through here and looped. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, I think this is looking good, guys. Let's see where we're at. We need more workers. We need more resources. Let's look at our supply chain really quick. Let's see, production. So we're producing a lot of crops. But we're not producing as many animal products or flour. Okay. So I might just make a few more. I'm going to make another flour mill. And again, I don't want to put it on a collector. I also don't want it to be in an area where there's fertile land. Simply because I want to use that land for crops, if possible. So we get the flour mill. We have the slaughterhouse. Let me just put those right next to each other. Best way to do it. Okay. And we need some storage, so we may just put a warehouse here too. Or we could make it, I think it'd still look better to have a large barn. So we'll have the barn right there, serving these two. But we need to get some power to them. I wonder if I can just slow it down. I think I may just get some crop fields. It's not the most efficient because it's curved, but actually I might take a mulligan on that. Hold on. Have the dirt road go off of here. Now connect to the collector. And I think that should be good. Yeah. Because once we switch to, once we get to level 5, or get 5 stars, we'll be able to get bigger, they're the biggest fields, but for now, these will work. And I want to make this look a little different. We're going to do some greenhouses here. Maybe some potatoes. Okay, and then we're back. So what that did is it got all of the power to them without having to use power lines, which I think is the best thing to do. We can also delete these and just have one that goes right here, and that's it. It's looking good. We need more in terms of residential. So maybe we can do a little more. How far does this extend? Yeah, I think we can extend our... Oh yeah, we want that. So yeah, unfortunately we have this in like the middle of town. And we want to make a public works campus off somewhere else, not in town, possibly by that interchange. So I'll have to buy some land, but I think that'll probably be where we do it, just so it's off where people don't really want to go. Need more people, so let's get some residential going. Let's slow it down. Then what we're gonna do, I'm gonna keep this going. Keep my bike network intact. Turn my Sat 2s on. And we're gonna make another block. Sorry, Rock. I love you very much. What did I do? Oops. Okay. Honestly, I kind of want this to be a bike path too. Yeah, so that loops. Same thing here. Okay. That's looking good. So we have this whole thing mapped out, and now all I need to do is just connect these roads and then provide what do you call it? Public utilities. So again, I'm using regular roads here so that we have street parking. That's important to have at least some street parking. And we're going to do high density. And we'll do a little bit of office space here too. So even though this is the cooperatives area, I still want it to be part of the city, and not everyone in each family is going to work in the cooperative. So, you know, providing the potential to have like office jobs and stuff, I think is very helpful. We can even have it be that these office jobs are part of... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. Oops. I want this to be that. And I think I'm going to take eminent domain, and we're going to take this. We're going to do that. And then I'm going to make this office space as well. The office space provides a buffer between residential and commercial. Specifically, high density commercial is a very large producer of noise pollution. So you want to make sure that you have a buffer between the two uses. Okay. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I know I am. I've had a surprisingly good week. I've got to. I started with my new therapist. I started with my new doctor. My students did wonderful this week. That was probably the highlight of my week. Just the fact that all my students are in person now. This was the first week that we did that, because it was a week after spring break. So it was really cool to see my students come back and be really excited and really excited to come back to school. And I have kindergartners, so they're always excited. But it's just the fact that behavior has been an issue this year, just because they don't have any. They haven't had much time to learn how to be in school, especially these kindergartners. The first graders they've had a good amount of time to acclimate, even though their year was cut short last year. But the kindergartners this year have really struggled with learning appropriate behaviors in school, and it just takes time. It takes, like anything, it takes practice. So it was really nice to come back and see the progress that we made kind of stuck, and they've gotten really good at managing the behaviors and participating and doing the things they need to do. And I think part of that is that I'm consistent, and they know what to expect from me. So when I do certain things, they know what my response is going to be. So what that does is it makes it so that instead of them kind of pushing on on your boundaries to see where what they can do, instead they settle in, and they know exactly what you're going to do, how you're going to react, and so when they make a choice to do something inappropriate, and then I can push back and be like, well, we've talked about this all year. I'm not sure what happened. So it gives the ability for me to call back on expectations, and just be a better teacher. Consistency is really important. We haven't had much of it, so I think for me, my goal has been to foster that consistency through my expectations and the way that I enforce our class rules. And I'm just a music teacher, so I don't see them that often, which is part of it, But I think I've done a good job of fostering that. Okay, why are none of these going into the high school? Go to high school. What are you doing? Well, they definitely need one over here. I don't know how they're all getting educated. Alright, we're going to put that there. I mean, technically I think they can get there, but I think I may just do this. That's prepping for the future. And we have no university yet. And look at that. We are at level 5. So since that's the case, I may... Let's see, will this fit in here? No. I'm going to demolish this. I know it's costly, but I think it is worth it. I want to see how big this thing is. How far do we need to go? So if we make it go from there to there... Okay. So I think if I do this, we should be able to fit those. I'm able to get one. I think we need to get closer. I'm going to pause really quick. I know that's kind of a faux pas in the City Skylines community, but you know what? That's okay. So I have kind of a frontage road right here, a straight frontage road, just so I can fit these guys in here. I think we can get 3 in there. Ooh, we're so close. That's okay. I think this one will fit. It's actually more, you get more from just doing 2 of these. And they look good. That was really good. Okay. I am liking this. I'm liking this a lot, actually. Alright, get out of here. Here's my little sign. Alright, same thing here. We're just gonna get rid of these boys. That guy's still chucking, so I think we'll leave him. The thing is, these are such noxious uses that you can't do much else other than office space, which is unfortunate, but I'm really contemplating getting some more space. I think I need that anyway. Let's see. So we have 3 available. So there are no resources here. That's why I'm thinking that. Because if you look over there, there's like a little bit of fertile area, but there's not much. So I may just buy this really quick. And we can create a quick little public works campus up on this, up past this hill, and it'll actually disguise it pretty well. Alright, so let's get that highway going. I'm going to slow it down. We're going to go to... this. So this is a two-lane highway. And we want to respect the topography. So I'm going to do freeform tool. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to travel around this little hill. It's really not that little, but and this highway is going to function as basically a collector, but it's just going to dead end here. And we'll use dirt roads. And I want to make this straight. Ideally to the point where we're like just bumping up against the road. And I may just do these little spikes out. we'll see what else we need, if anything. Alright. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to, and these are old, pretty old anyway. So it makes sense to move them. But I want to pause because this is going to be a pretty tricky maneuver. Let's see, how many can we fit in here? Let's see, if I do it this way, can I fit 2? No. How about within here? So it does 5. 5 and then 3. If I do it this way. So that's still not enough. So I'd prefer to do it this way. And keep link uses together. Because I want to, well, I guess I don't need that. I can actually just go, because these are 7, right? So we need to make sure that we have 7. That's 5, 6, 7. So we're right here. And then we should be able to get the rest of those over there. So yes, this is going to be expensive to load pipes under the roads all the way through there, but it gets this pollution out of basically the city limits, and makes it so that we can do a bit more, you know. All right. Now, garbage is interesting. You don't necessarily want to. You don't want to have garbage all in the same area. It's fine. In my opinion, it's fine to have a few, especially if they're not loading. They're not all loading on the same road. But if you put them all in a cul-de-sac, you can get to this point where you just get garbage in waves, where you have a bunch of garbage trucks going out all at once because of traffic and just the way that it kind of functions. So I'm going to have some recycling there. I'm going to put an incinerator there as well, and I think that should be enough for now. And then I'll kind of revisit it a little later and see what those uses are looking like. But I'm going to put this on this side of the road. And I'm curious what our garbage processing status is going to be once we start this. So it's super high now. Okay, so if that's the case, then I'm going to delete a couple. What? Oh, whoops. I forgot something. A couple of things. Yeah, we need to bring this all the way through here. And we're going to connect each of these. It's always good to have redundancy. And there you go. Okay. So those are all connected. Now we're just going to have these pipes go under the road. All we want to do is get them connected. I think this would be appropriate because it's right on the edge. Okay. Cool. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna leave one of those recycling centers, just so we have a little bit of. I'm actually gonna move it to right here. A little bit further away from the houses, just so we have some local garbage collection as well. Eventually we'll have the waste processing center, and they'll have all the way stations for waste. So should be good, right? Why is sewage treatment not? Oh, damn it. Forgot about power. So we're just going to have this, let's see. Yeah, we're just going to have it go along this highway. Not the highway. Hey, there we go. Okay. So we're going to have this just go along the highway. If you're enjoying this, I really encourage you to give the stream a like and subscribe. I bring this content not as regularly as I would like, but especially once we get into the summer, I'll be streaming all the time. Probably every other day or most days a week. So just keep that in mind as you're watching this. If you like ASMR content, if you like City Skylines, I'll be doing this. I also have my kind of role-playing games that I play every once in a while, and I'm going to be doing more politics. I'm a socialist, so I like to talk about it. In part, I mean, what's cool about this game is that it provides an opportunity to explore kind of the connections that people have to each other, especially, at least within a city, within this one place. And thinking about what does it look like to be connected to people, and what are some policies that we can implement to help foster that connectivity between people. Alright, we need more residential, I think. It's pretty simplistic, the idea of having more, the idea of having these RCI meters really is just driving the game forward. It's not really realistic. You wouldn't have this influx of people just coming into your town unless there was a reason to. Now, you create that reason, but it's it actually is kind of analogous to the immigration argument. So conservatives will say that these people, these low-wage earners, these illegal immigrants, they come in and they take the poor's jobs and all that. But in reality, what happens is you bring people into your town, or into your city, or into your state, or into your country, and those people bring something to the table. They are going to work, right? They're going to increase the tax base. they're going to provide workers for business to grow, right? The more workers you have, the more available labor there is, the more the businesses can grow because those people consume as well. So that's the whole point. We're getting a death wave. Let's see where we at with our cemeteries. Oh, no, we're good. We just need more availability. I think I'm going to put it right here. That is honestly a perfect spot. And the way that I play this game is I want it to be as realistic as possible. Meaning that, like, I'm not going to go around just, demolishing properties. Because that's just not realistic. Eminent domain is extremely expensive. It's usually cost prohibitive, and people don't like to leave their houses. And philosophically, I don't necessarily agree with eminent domain unless there is a community like basis. So if you're doing eminent domain to have a highway go through or whatever, I don't think that that's appropriate. In my opinion, you need something that is going to serve the community, not necessarily the business interests of trying to like attract businesses or whatever. I think it's more important to take care of your citizens and have your business grow organically. And it's also shown that that highways through cities, like if I go in Chicago and I have that highway passing through 9094, like that does not help the city, to be honest. Like if you ever try to get on 994, if you've ever been to Chicago, it's a nightmare. It's terrible because it's basically serving as a collector, because you have all these stops on the highway, but it attracts so much traffic that it makes it dangerous, and the highway is fast, and it just doesn't work the way that I think when they first put that highway in. I don't think that's what they intended. I think what they intended is that it was a quick way to zip around the city and have have it be a through line to get out of the city. But the problem is it's not an expressway. It is functioning as a collector, and it makes it so that your traffic is not dispersed as it should be. When you get up into like Wicker Park and Lincoln Park, there it's a lot better. You don't have as much of the need for the highway, and you have local roads and collectors that are taking most of that traffic. So, at least from my understanding, I'm not an expert. I sure like to act like one. Okay, so these are all upgraded. They're looking good. Where are they at? Okay. I really like Grove Heights. You can even see from up top how green it is compared to this. So you can see all of the trees. Alright. We're going to need some more residential, I think. Extend it out here. Maybe? Yeah. I think so. Let's do it. do it, but sorry, bud. Oh, I don't know why it's doing that. So again, what I'm doing is oh, nice. We got the next one. And we got a train. Yes. We got cable cars. Don't really care for monorails. Okay. So, by the way, what I'm doing here is I am prioritizing this road. I'm making it so that the collector is the thing that is has the through lane, so that everything else is subject to that. So all these local roads are not being prioritized. They feed into the collector. Oh, this is not good. Same thing there. And if you look up top, you can see the arteries, right? Or not the arteries, well, whatever. You can see how we have, the basic structure is this. So we have this that goes all the way down and kind of encapsulates this whole thing. So that's our main thing. And then you have our internal collector that runs all the way through here and collects all the way through, but it goes all the way through. So you can go on this road, go on a roundabout, you can leave the town, or you can go all the way through to Grove Heights. So I think that's kind of a nice, it's a nice looking city, if I say so myself. Pretty much maxed out the Grove in terms of residential, but I think the Grove Agricultural Cooperative is going to extend all the way over to here. I think they're going to use this land, and I think because of that, I'm just going to take it, because I know that I'm going to use it. Some interesting structures. Looks like we're in a European setting because we have like a small little keep, ruins of a keep. So we will keep those intact. But we will make this another farming area. Man, this map is very nice. It's ooh. Oh yes, okay. And we also have rail now. That's great. So this is perfect. So what this does is it gives us the ability to get on rail and have a cargo train running through here and being the main source of getting product out and in, or exporting our product out without having to go through the center of the city. So it can kind of function on its own over here and not have a bunch of truck traffic muddying everything up. So I may end it here in a little bit, but first I'm going to make this bridge, and then we'll I'll probably get out of here. Probably listen to Vosh for a little bit. And my goal will be to keep this a bike path. And I don't think this road needs to be necessarily that high. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, we want this to be that. And then I don't want to change the height until we get to here. I'm going to bring this all the way down to the ground. So I have my, yeah, there we go. So I want it to snap to where this road is. I think that looks good. And then just connect it. Nice even slope on age. I think this is a little bit too far down, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. I think this is a better... it's still going down, so I want it to be level. Maybe I'll do it a little bit of terraforming. Soften this a little bit. Oh my god, I hate when it saves. No, I love when it saves, but I hate that it like stops the game every time I save. But we don't want to do that. We want it to be... Basically, I want it to be level with this. That's what's important to me. I want it to be the kind of thing where the landing of the bridge comes down right at the same level as where it's going to go. This is more aesthetics than anything, but it's still important to me. Okay, good. How does that look? Much better. So you can see it doesn't dip down. It just goes to the level ground and then keeps going. And I'm going to make this collector go. Really, this is an artery, so I think I'm actually going to change this. This is an arterial. So arterial is a regional road. It's made to go fast. It's you don't have you shouldn't have a lot of stops. It should just go all the way through. So we have this nice bridge, goes all the way across. That opens up to here, and then we have our train tracks. And I think next time we play, I will probably do. We're going to do our cargo train here. We're going to extend the Grove Agricultural Collective. This will be a new area that we're kind of annexing, and the collective will function on this wide swath of land, and it's going to make a ton of money. It'll be great. And we're still doing a-okay on money. And we have a lot of room over here as well. We have another train, so we can kind of do the same thing over here. Oh, this is such a nice map. This is like, I don't want to say easy. It's like, it's just very aesthetically pleasing. Okay, cool. Sweet. I'm gonna save. I accidentally overwrote one of my my saves when I was playing on my own. Just I think it was like a week ago. But okay. Well, all right, everyone. I think that is it. I've had a good time. I know I haven't had a lot of people on today. It is a Sunday in the morning, but if you're watching this afterward, be sure to like this video, and be sure to subscribe. We'll be especially doing more content as we get closer to the summer, and then once summer hits, I will be doing content most days, and actually editing my videos because I'll have time. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll keep doing these streams every once in a while. I'm probably going to do an actual ASMR video soon, maybe some political React Andy type stuff soonish. But until then, I will see you later.